All right, we've got the DSK Dragon Scale Kinght on the bench here this morning. And what we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to actually review all the upgrades and modifications that I've done to the DSK and then take you to its first shakedown runs with the current configuration. We ran it on 4 and 6S for the first time with this setup last night, and it went fairly well, in my opinion. We're back in one piece, and we have a good platform now and a good understanding what we need to do to actually get some good speed out of this car. So let's start with what we're seeing here on the exterior. We had a lot of help from James from the H&W Racing channel. He helped me with the complete setup of this car. He serviced the diffs, he set up the shocks, set the droop, he hooked me up with the front splitter, he balanced everything, so you can see all the weights on the front here. He also hooked me up with the rear wing here and the Proline tires. So we got hooked up quite a bit from James here. What else we're seeing here on the exterior is we have carbon side trays that I built. We mounted the 2 extra battery trays that came with the DSK onto those side trays. And obviously we'll be running exterior batteries on it. And let me show you what's going on under here. I have shown a couple clips on the channel, but really have not reviewed it in detail here. So what we have here is a dual motor setup. We can zoom in, give you a little bit better look at it. So we've got dual motors here. These are 4274 2200 kV Ysoto motors. That's what we're running. We're running a motor mount, a dual motor mount that I've picked up off AliExpress. Now this required a bit of modification to make it work. We had to cut it down in height to allow the shaft, the center shaft here, to be level. And we also had to notch out the top for the top retaining plate here to be level. So once I got that sorted out, and that took quite a bit of time, we were good. We were able to mount the motors. Now I mounted 22 tooth pinions on there. The stock pinion that the DSK came with was a 17 tooth. We went up to 22 tooth. That's the smallest I can fit on here, and I really don't want to go any smaller. We're going to be going bigger. I've got 24s, 26, 28, and 30s on the way. Those should be here shortly, and we're going to start by just going up in 2-tooth increments to see how much speed we can pull out of it with this setup. Now for the ESCs, we're running dual 160 amp ESCs. They are soldered together. They're not running from a battery to an ESC. The batteries are run in series. We started out for 4S running 2 2S batteries, and then for 6S 2 3S batteries, and that's just to keep everything nice and balanced with weight. So the batteries are both pre-wired here. We've got that all set up. Wiring's decently neat. I could have shortened up the center here a bit. I might do that still, but for right now it's definitely not a complete mess, so we'll probably just leave it alone for the moment. So ESCs are soldered together, and they're going to a single EC5 connector here, and that EC5 connector is hooked up to the wires here where I have the EC5 just bullets on the end, and it worked out well. Other than that, guys, well, we'll show you what ESC we're using. We're using the XC ESC C8. These are good for 3 to 6S, 160 amp ESCs. They're a decent budget ESC. I'm finding a lot of people are actually getting their hands on them and haven't really seen any complaints. So that's what we're running. They are fully programmable right through an app. So I'm able to individually connect to each ESC and make any changes I need to. So that was very convenient. Other than that, guys, there's really not much else here for modifications. What we're going to be looking at doing is also putting in a center spool. I have to figure that out. Once I get that figured out, we'll get a spool in there. And like I said, we're going to start moving up in 2-tooth increments. So the next runs we'll do with this will be with 24 tooth and then up to 30 tooth, and we'll see where we get there. What we're really looking for as we go up is how hot the motors are getting. The motors didn't even get warm with the setup it is right now. So we're hoping we can go up maybe even further than 30 tooth and still keep those motors nice and cool. But other than that, guys, that's the setup we have here. I do want to show you one thing with the motor mount, because I am going to leave links for everything I'm using here in the description below. So if you're interested in maybe building something like this, the links are there. But the motor mount, probably the hardest thing to get sorted out. Having to cut it in height. Now, since it's aluminum, it wasn't too bad to cut. But I want to show you here. So that's the motor mount being held in by 2 screws. This hole right here, I had to ream out a bit to line it up. And then the third hole doesn't really line up, and I didn't really want to mess up the factory holes there that are countersunk. It was not really necessary. The motor mount held up just fine, I think, with 2 screws. As long as I keep these tight, we won't have any issues. And these I'll keep an eye on after each run. On that, guys, that's about it. We've got a little GPS holder that I printed and put in there just to hold the Sky RC GPS. Receiver right here. But yeah, side trays, they're screwed into the factory mounts for, let's see if I have them here still. For the stock, we'll call them side trays, where the stock ones were. I just used the same holes and screwed those right in, and seems to work out pretty good. So anyways, guys, let's get out and let me give you a look at how this thing did on 4 and 6S. I think for shakedown runs, it was great. There was a little bit of messing around with dual rates to get the steering set up a little bit better, but other than that, impressed. Everything was very manageable, and I think as we take, let's call it baby steps to get to some you know, get this thing built up to have some real speed, we'll be in good shape to do so. Just finished trimming it up, so hopefully it's going to go straight for us. I'm gonna get down there, set up. I got to turn my dual rates down because I'm not used to driving this thing, but I am looking forward to this. Okay, let me just get into my dual rates here. I got to get things set up, guys. I don't want to mess this up. Okay. Are we clear? That's it on 4. That's it on 4, so definitely not as quick. And this is what I kind of thought bench testing it, but when I was putting it on the ground, it was a bit punchy. So I thought, okay.
Very small bar worked, didn't blow up, went straight. We're good. Now we can go faster.
We're gonna go faster because we're going 6S next.
Yeah. I'm happy it's straight.
That is a very short shakedown run. So, hey, it ran. That's all that matters. The mesh is good.
Didn't do wheelie.
All right, what do we got? About 30 miles per hour? 42 miles per hour.
Okay, that's fine.
So 42 miles per hour. That's just with, now this is built in my mind as a 6S car. Okay, so we're gonna set up for 6S and then we're gonna come right back, guys. Okay, we've switched out the 4S. We're running 6S now. After this, it's just gonna be gearing up to make it quicker. First run, it was straight. Everything looked good. A few little tweaks when we took it off here with the adjustments for the dual rates, but other than that, we're ready to run. So I am gonna just hit track, start, stop, read. We're reading 0. And we're good to go. So let's do it. It definitely feels better on 6S, and I was telling James, this is a 6S build. It's not 4S. It did seem slow on the bench when I was bench testing on 4S. I did bench test it for the first time today on 6S, and it felt so much better. So first run on 4S, success. We didn't crash it. It felt pretty good. Okay, we're lined up. There's a car there, but I'm gonna get, okay, here we go. Felt better. Steering can be turned down a bit more. I'm running the smallest gears I can run with this setup right now.
Okay.
So gears are on the way, but let's see what we got. And then I'll show you guys what we did here, if you haven't seen already. All right. I'm thinking we're definitely more. 61 miles per hour.
Nice.
Okay,
Perfect.
so that's kind of where we thought. I'll show you guys what we have here. This is just the beginning of this. Now, did want to be cautious with it because if we have any major crashes, what's the result of that? Probably a month of downtime because we can't get parts that quickly. But here it is, guys. So we are running dual brushless mowers. These are, I can't remember the size, 4274 and 2200 kV motors.
That's right.
160 amp ESCs. We got 2 of them there. And then we're running 2 3S batteries in series. This mess of wire here is what's happening there. And yeah, like typically we don't show our gears. I'm going to.
I've reset it.
I'm going to, yeah. So these are 22 tooth pinions.
Very small.
So they're as small as I could get with this mount because I did put, now let me just say the stock pinion was 17 tooth.
Yeah.
So, but I wanted to put the extra brace in because it only comes with the one brace and then your motor typically mounts on the other side, opposite of the brace, but I wanted to put them both in. That's as close as I could get it. Yeah. But we have a ton of room for big gears on here.
Yeah, so for that gear, it's fast.
So
that's pretty quick.
61 miles per hour, that's our benchmark to start with. It's only going to get faster from here. As I showed James earlier, we've got a ton of Mod 1 gears ordered up on the way. So that's it, guys.
Shakedown.
Shakedown done.
Successful.